On this episode, we're putting the top back on. Okay, so we managed to lift the top onto the car. It seemed to go okay, only some minor scratching on the inside here, which will be covered by the interior panels anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Now I'm basically going to get out all the little bags I labeled with the hardware for the top. I will spread it out on my little table, and then I'm slowly going to put it back together. I don't really have very good instructions on reinstalling the top. All I have is the instructions from cabbyinfo.com regarding removing the top, so I'm just going to kind of work backwards and do the best I can. Go kind of slow and hope I don't wreck anything, so let's get started. This is what I have for parts. These were all labeled when I took them off. So I've got the driver's side top, that's the little piece for the outside, passenger side, driver's side main bolts, passenger side main bolts, headliner tab for the driver's side, headliner tab for the passenger side, rear driver corner, and passenger corner. Some of these have been, like, clearly these two are not the same. Looks like they've used a different type of screw there. That's actually the one that I had to repair in the earlier video that it poked through. It's kind of like a, I don't know, almost like a wood screw or something. Anyways, we'll make it work. And this is the shock mount. Don't know if I mentioned that, so I'm just going to move over here. Oh, and I've also got, this is my old cable that I told you I snapped the end off, but you can see it it was due for repair anyways, so it's really, yeah, it's really stiff here. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but I have my replacement here. It seems much more malleable, but yeah. I see, okay. We will, alright, so there's my replacement rear tie down cable, so. Alright, so the top is on. I'm sure I did not do that in the correct order, because that was a real pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to do it. I managed to get it on eventually, but that took forever, and yeah, it was did not go smoothly. So I still have to button up the headliner. It needs to be riveted in a few places and pulled down at the back and hooked. But yeah, it's on. I'm gonna clean it up, and it's coming apart a little bit in the corners here, which I did not remember it, so I don't know if I can, that's something I did while installing, or if it was just, maybe I can fix that still. So it's just coming apart at the seams a little bit there. So anyways, let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing I'm going to do is replace this emergency brake cable. One of them was broken when I purchased the car, and the previous owner included this and said that it was the correct replacement part. So fingers crossed that this is going to work. I've never done this before, so I have consulted a few different sources, and it doesn't look too difficult. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is jack up the car and get the wheel off. Okay, so the wheel's off, car's jacked up. The next thing I'm going to do is remove this dust cap, which I should be able to hopefully just pull off like this. There we go. So now I've got a cotter pin, and I just need to bend that back to remove this kind of safety nut. Now this safety nut should just kind of pop off of here. Okay, next is this retaining nut, the axle nut. It's normally not too tight because it has these, yeah, so I can just undo that. This. There's a washer here. It is slotted, so it can only go on that one way. Now I think that all that's in there is the bearing. I might be able to slide. It's starting to slide up on its own here. And see, the bearing is starting to fall out as I tried to remove that. Okay, so there's the bearing. Pull the drum off here. So there you can see the old emergency brake is cable. And my knee's not in the way, and it's just sheared off there. So I'll remove these little springs here. So quickly before I move under the car, I'm just going to disconnect the parking brake cable inside here. I've already got the parking brake handle all taken off. I did that when I was doing the painting of the interior here. So there's just a couple 10mm nuts here, locking nut. Just need to come off. This here. And okay, so it comes out of the bracket here, and you can see this is the broken one. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick look at how this cable works. You can see this is the section that goes into the cabin, This is where we just removed the nut from the inside there. And you can see then there's this retaining cable. This is going to slide into the conduit, which is the casing that this cable slides through. And then this piece all runs underneath the car, and then this piece slides into the brake housing at the back. So, and then this end piece connects to the brake mechanism inside the drum. So what I have to do at this point is, this is basically disconnected at the back. We disconnected this inside. So now it's just a matter of pulling this piece out of the conduit underneath the car. So I'm going to, it may be a little bit rusty, so I'm going to show you that underneath right now. Okay, so right here, this is where the cable connects to, this is the conduit that just runs kind of through the center of the car. So you can see this is kind of dirty. What I basically have to do is just separate these two and then pull it out towards the rear of the car. So I'm just going to clean that up and see how it goes. I got the old cable out. Here's a look at the new cable going in. You can see I've just fed it through underneath here, the same path. And there's actually, you can see there's extra rubber grommets or padding where basically the cable sits in these supports here. There's kind of a coil support right here, and just kind of a bracket support there. And then it feeds around to the back of the brake plate and just feeds through right there. And then I will be connecting that to the brake drum assembly right there. But first I'm going to go back underneath and just feed the other end up into the cabin. Okay, so we've got this all back together. Now basically what I'm going to do is just go inside and install the parking brake handle so I can do the proper adjustments before I put the drum back on, just in case anything happens here. So. Okay, so we've got the drum brakes all back together. I'm going to reinstall the wheel and the bearing and get everything on here, and then we can do the final adjustment on the emergency brake inside the cabin. Okay, so the brakes are back together. As you can see, the wheels turning freely here. So as per the instructions, the way to adjust it is to basically pull up 2 clicks on the parking brake handle, and then we are going to tighten the cable a little at a time on each side until the wheels, either side of the wheels, can rotate any longer, and then lock nut those, and then we will release the parking brake and make sure that the wheels will turn freely once the parking brake is off. So let's give that a whirl. Okay, so I've got everything adjusted. Here is the wheel with the emergency brake not on. See, it's just dragging just a little bit, which is what I like. And but it's basically rolling free. And here it is with 2 clicks. I can't budge it, so that's another job checked off the list. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end this video. I'm out of time, and I'm pretty happy with what I got done today. Top was a lot harder to get on than I expected, but I think it's on properly now, and I'm happy, as that was stressful, and it was something that had been stressing me out, hoping that it didn't get damaged just sitting there for so long. There's a couple little things I need to tighten up. There's just coming apart at some of the seams just here on both sides, so I've got some upholstery thread that I'm going to just do that by hand, and then just needs to be cleaned up a little on the inside and glued down in a couple of places, the headliner. So, but other than that, emergency brakes repaired, and that's one more thing checked off the list. So slowly by slowly, I am getting closer to having this back on the road. So as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we'll see you next time on Analog Generation.